So here is Pretzel all conked out because we spent 8 hours shopping today and we had a blast. Let's rewind and see what happened. We are in Hamburg, New York. This is my friend Michelle Fun Finds, and we went to what was dubbed the largest yard sale in the world. I don't know if it is or not, but that's what they call it. We were in Hamburg, New York. So here we are just checking everything out. And of course, I do have the puppers in tow, and everybody had to stop to say hi to them. But look how big this auditorium is. It's at the fairgrounds, so it was large. It was an indoor area and then an entire outdoor, well, separate building. Michelle found this really cool piece. It is marked with bread, tea, sugar, and it was just a cute little cabinet. I found trolls, and it had little bedazzled eyes and blonde hair. Now, I've seen the Santa one before. I thought he was cute. He had the sticker, so I'm not an expert on the trolls, but I think the sticker is a little bit newer than the ones that are like embossed with the name Russ. So I found a paperweight. Of course I found a paperweight. Paperweights find me. So I'm not complaining. This is just a glow-in-the-dark jellyfish. It was $8. I did buy that. And then over here, Michelle found a bunch of German smokers. You put an incense inside of it, and I guess the smoke makes it look like it's smoking. She bought the Santa one. I found some carnival glass, stretch vases. The color wasn't exciting enough for me, but still fun to find at a flea market. And this Fenton hobnail milk glass was $27. I probably should have just got it, but I didn't. Over here, I found this adorable Italian pottery mouse bag, and she had a tiny bit of damage behind her ear. She was only $2, and I'm like, Michelle, we can't leave her behind. She's too good to leave behind. So Michelle bought it, and I guess she's going to give it to her stepmom who collects Italian pottery. And over here, we're just looking for some Christmas. Michelle is known for her vintage Christmas, so we are always on the hunt. I saw some ribbon there, but that's not the kind of Christmas we're looking for. Just giving you a overview of what kind of things you can find here, because it's a yard sale, right? So it's modern, it's vintage. Boing. Boing. I have to do it. I just have to do it. And then I found this mushroom. It was a fantastic glass mushroom. I've had it one other time. It did have its original Japan sticker on the bottom, which I had to show Michelle, but it was $28, so there really wasn't enough wiggle room for me. But I do love those mushrooms. And then over here, there was some salt glaze pottery, and I didn't know if that was Beaumont Brothers or Eldrith. It was not marked, and I showed it to Michelle. I'm like, it's Christmas, and I think they wanted $8 for it, so she passed on it, but she's like, I think it's Eldrith. We're like, I don't know. And then we found this table, which had a bunch of good glass. We thought for sure that one piece I'm holding was going to be Vaseline glass, but prepared Michelle brought her black light, and it did not glow. Look at that. No glow. I was shocked. But everything else that's supposed to glow glowed. Yep. Just not that. So I put it back. It was only $12, but it didn't glow, so I passed on it. This is Dynasty Galleries. I was surprised with how well it was done. And then she pointed out there was a little boober, which I'm like, I think it's just tape residue. But I think it was right at like $15, so I passed. This jewelry vendor had some amazing costume jewelry, and it was extremely well laid out. I love how everything was visually appealing. I could see it all, and I didn't have to go digging. And I'm like, is this celluloid? I think it's celluloid. And then I asked the vendor, and she's like, yeah, I think it is too. So I did end up buying that. And then over here, I'm looking at some more Vaseline glass. And the prices were just, I don't know, I felt they were a little too high. So I did pass on those. So here I am looking at the jewelry. And there was some fantastic enamel flower pins. And the vendor's like, ignore the prices on it. Michelle's like, wait, there's another one over there. She said, I'll make you a deal. And she did. I bought both of those pieces and a couple others, and it ended up being like $30. And over here, looking at more jewelry. There was a lot of jewelry at this yard sale. The majority of everything I got from here was costume jewelry. And I did get a couple pieces of glass, but the prices were too good to pass up on the costume jewelry. Some places had jewelry for $1. So like, I'm not going to say no to that if it's a good piece. And here I am looking at some more jewelry. And if you hear snoring, that's Pretzel, because he's exhausted. We just finished this. Like, this is today. And then I'm like, Michelle, look, tree toppers. Tree toppers. And she's like, yeah, there were 2 for $3. So that was a good deal. She's after the vintage Christmas, and I saw some more. She kind of cleaned up in this particular booth because there was a lot of vintage Christmas here. Pretzel is snoring. Oh, and here she is just looking over. We found a couple different sets of light covers, so we were just talking those over. And then I found a sequins undergarment, and I said, Michelle, do you think I need to get this? And she said no. So I passed. But onto the jewelry. Oh, she thought that was a Rio Hondo. I'm like, no, I think it's just a Naughty Dog. And I'm like, look at this. It's a cheetah, an arching cat cheetah. These particular pieces were nice, but they were a tad bit higher in price. Like, they were around the $10 range. So for resale, I couldn't pick them up, but they had some really nice pieces. Like, that butterfly was really pretty, and I think that one was $12. But I still wanted to look at them. You never know when you're going to find a little surprise, but alas. All right, over here, I'm like, what are those? I'm like, are those lightning strikes? I said weather vanes, and Michelle's like, no, lightning strikes. So those were fun to see. Old lunch trays. You never know what you're going to find at a flea market. And then there was all of this milk glass, lots of milk glass. Some of it was Fenton, like that creamer and sugar set was only $5. Really, really good prices there. I think that one was only $12, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling the milk glass today, so I passed on it. And I'm looking at the other glass. Like, what is this? Oh, it's purple. Oh, that's the Madeira pattern from Franciscan, I believe. And then over here, I'm like, what is this? I am looking at some ephemera. Always on the hunt for some Halloween postcards. There was none there. I just browsed through it real quick. Didn't search very well. And then over here, there was just some little trinkets. I think those are tea bag holders. Just some fun stuff to look at that was vintage, because there was a lot of non-vintage items. That was a real pretty wall hanging there. I like the flowers that was on that. And then over here, there was this Nippon set, which I thought was neat. I think it's a little nut set, maybe. And then this cute little cow creamer set and a little pitcher. Those look to be a little bit more modern. Blue milk glass salt and pepper shakers were really pretty. And then over here, I found all these Wade Irish porcelain ashtrays. And Ethan was with us, which is Michelle's son, and he collects ashtrays. So I said, Ethan, look, ashtrays, because he was on the hunt for ashtrays. And then I got distracted by an egg coddler. And there he is. He's like, oh, ashtrays. So he got a couple of those. And I was looking at the egg coddlers, but both of them were cracked, which was really sad because I love finding the Wade Irish porcelain. I love the shamrocks that are on there, and I totally would have got both of them. They were cracked on the lid, so I left them behind. And then that mug was really nice, but it was small. I had a really large Wade mug, and I regret selling it. I wish I could find another one because it was perfect for coffee. There was a cute little one too. All right, over here I found a paperweight. And it had a little donut in the center. I think it's a pen holder paperweight. I'm not too keen on those. I get them every once in a while, but I passed. Oh, and I should probably mention we are no longer at the world's largest yard sale. We are in East Aurora, New York, where we went to the flea market slash antique store. And I had to go, we're in the flea market outside part right now. It's like a bunch of like garage spaces, and people just open their doors and they have little flea market spaces that are kind of like half outside, half indoors. I looked through all of this jewelry. It was very nicely laid out in these cases. And that one caught my eye. It was a pink moon glow graduated bead necklace. It was beautiful, but they wanted $15 for it. And I don't think there was much wiggle room, as pretty as it was. I left it behind. And I have regrets about that one because it was so pretty. And then look at this. This guy is like stabbing him in the mouth. And Michelle's like, it's a dentist. I'm like, he's stabbing him in the mouth. Over here, this particular space had some really nice ceramics. It had a couple of paperweights. There was a salt and pepper set that was really cute. The little dogs there. But I was coming after this paperweight. But it was just a Chinese import and it was $15. So I did pass on that. I still have to look at it though. And then I found this maybe Swedish single candle holder, but there was only one. I think he only wanted $12, but there was only one. Maybe for a pair, but not for a single. I would have considered it if it was a pair. And then I'm looking over here. There's some more glass, more ceramics. And then this particular vendor had this really cool Fenton blue iridescent pitcher that caught my eye. And I believe that was $39, if I remember correctly. But I couldn't do anything with $39. And we're still in the same booth, and he had some really cute parakeets. That was bimini glass. That was really, really thin bimini glass and very delicate. And he had a lot of monkeys, like a lot of monkeys. I don't know what that monkey was doing. I don't remember how much it was, but it caught my attention. It was very well done, quality monkey. And then he had a whole bunch of little monkey figurines scattered throughout the booth. Like this one is a little bone china one with his banana. And I believe it was $8. So not a whole lot of wiggle room on those. They don't go very high. I just really liked that he had his banana. And then over here, we went into the antique mall part, which is attached to the flea market. And I remember this huge flying pig. I loved it. I had to get it on tape to show you guys. All right, so there's a lot of cases in this antique mall, and I loved the Fenton that was there. There was a cat, a butterfly, and then over here there was a cat with its butt in the air, and it was just adorable. I have no idea who makes it. I think it was marked at $29, I believe. So I had to check that out. And there was some really, really good stuff at this antique mall, and a lot of different sales. Like, look at those giraffes. I'm trying to look at that perfume bottle. I don't think it was only $15, but I don't think it was marked. And after looking closer, I do believe it was more modern. And there's some milk glass down there. Most of it was Fenton, so of course it caught my eye with the silver crest there. And then over here, there was a booth full of like owls. Lots of good owl stuff, but it was modern owls, but they were still cute to look at. I like that little trinket dish, and the mugs were adorable. Just everywhere you turned, there was a wise owl. And then up here, I saw this vase, and I'm like, what is that? And I thought at first it would be Gallet, possibly. But when you look at the rim, it was very like blunt. Like Gallet has a more sophisticated, like rounded edge. And I learned that from George, the Antique Nomad. So I didn't think it was after a closer look, but it did look pretty with that purple carved effect look to it. And then over here, there was a Fenton green beaded melon set vases. They were over 100, I want to say, for the set. And then there was some cats. Cute little Fenton cats. And then there was all these creepy old lady dolls. I don't like, what are these ladies? One of them was laying its head in an ashtray. We're like, what is happening? I have no idea what's going on right now. There it is, laying down in the ashtray. And then there was a cool little blacklight display underneath. Now, there was a cute little spaghetti poodle over there. He did have some chipped spaghettis, but he was adorable. I love the gray ones. I love that old stacking toy too. It caught my eye because of the colorfulness of it. But it was an old wood stacking toy set. And then there was a little rocking horse, a little Fenton rocking horse. I don't see those every day. I almost never see those. There's a little 5-finger vase in there. There was a plum opalescent bell. That bell, I think, was $15, $20. And that's a great price for plum opalescent, but it was a bell. So I did leave it behind. Look at this beautiful teal blue purple crest bowl. I'm not sure who makes that. And that Murano handkerchief. And there's a Murano in front of it. And there was a turquoise fountain. There was just some really good stuff in this booth. And even though it was on sale, the prices were right where I couldn't touch it. There was a Peggy Carr back there, little fused glass plate, another finger bowl that was Murano. There's really nice pieces in there. I liked that pottery piece there. I'm like, Michelle, look at this. Look at this. And I'm pointing at everything. Now, Michelle's not really into glass and pottery like I am, so she's like, yeah, okay. Where's the Christmas? This vendor was probably my favorite booth. Look at that Blanco mushroom right there. There was this threaded vase, some bohemian barware, just some beautiful pieces in here. And it was 20% off. Unfortunately, I couldn't really do anything because the prices were retail plus, and then even with a 20% off, it was still too high. But look at all that beautiful Murano. There was a shoe, there was a bowl, the latticino, there was a matte finish paperweight, just some really nice pieces in there. That little cruette back there, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. There was some uranium glass, and then down here there was some more paperweights, which I did check on them. There was some Gibson ones. That iridescent Gibson one there, I think was $40 even after the discount. And then up here there was a couple of swung glass vases. There was this Viking Epic 6-petal. It had its original sticker, and it was only $50. And I think it even had a sale, but it was a little cloudy inside, and I don't need a project. And this was a Viking arching thumbprint, which is a very hard pattern to find. You don't see it every day. That was also 50 and 20% off, and I probably would have got it, but there was a crack right on the base. There was a crack, so I'm like, oh, I can't do it. But fun to see it. I don't come across it very often. And then in here, Glenda the Good Witch was stuck in that crown. But look at this. Look at this Tutti Frutti Murano bowl ashtray. It was beautiful. And then down here, there was just some really fun carnival glass I've never seen before. It had like a branch twig design on it. I'm not sure who makes that. If you guys know, let me know. I didn't know who the maker was on that. And then over here, we're just scrolling through lots of cases in this particular antique mall. Almost everything is in a case. So there's some jewelry, some earrings. Just really fun to look at. And then we found these like clay. We thought they were clay suckers. Well, there's only one. But it was really neat to look at. And there was some other handmade clay. I like that vase. Handmade. Nope, there's 2 suckers. There it is. These ribbon candies were also made out of clay. And we both thought those were really cool. Somebody made those and they just came out really well. It was a great idea. I thought that might be Hager, but it wasn't marked on the bottom, so I wasn't so sure. But I love the drip glaze on it, and it was only $19, I believe. And then somebody made this vase, and it was coiled. It was clay that was coiled, which is a unique technique. And of course, when you're right outside of Buffalo, New York, you must partake in some wings. It's like a tradition. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one. And don't forget to like, share, hit that notification button, and subscribe. See you next time.